There was a season when Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea completely dominated European football, beating rivals like Manchester City,
Havertz is through here, he's round Henderson and he must score, he has scored! Kai Havertz!
Atletico Madrid,
It's a good run by Havertz, onto Werner. Ziyech making the run through the middle, Werner on the move for Chelsea. Hakim Ziyech, there's the goal they wanted!
and Real Madrid.
Can he finish it? Christian Pulisic, forced wide. Mount that's it! Mason!
Chelsea has never been one of the most winning clubs in elite football, but in just 6 months, Tuchel transformed the Blues into one of the most fearsome teams in English football history, with players like N'Golo Kanté, Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, and Timo Werner. The German coach led the team to a total of 6 finals and, of course, won their second Champions League trophy. Frank Lampard, one of the greatest legends in Chelsea history, took charge of the club for the 2019-2020 season, arriving amid a very challenging situation for the London club. Eden Hazard, one of their best stars in recent years, had left to join the Real Madrid for 100 million euros plus an additional 40 million in variables. Additionally, Chelsea was investigated by FIFA for the irregular signing of 29 players under the age of 18, a move that violated Article 19 of the regulations on the status and transfer of players, which aims to protect young footballers and prevent the tracking of minors. In February 2019, FIFA sanctioned the club with a fine of £450,000 and, more importantly, imposed a ban on signing for 2 consecutive transfer windows, the summer of 2019 and the winter of 2020. Consequently, Frank Lampard arrived at Chelsea with an urgent need to restructure the club's sporting project. In a way, the transfer ban turned out to be a positive factor, and it forced their English manager to rely on the Blues' youth academy, promoting talents such as Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, Reece James, and Fikayo Tomori to the first team. Chelsea appealed the FIFA sanction, and the signing ban was reduced to a single transfer window with the fine lowered to 300,000 Swiss francs, allowing the club to resume signing players in January 2020 transfer window, with only Christian Pulisic joining during that period. Despite the complications, Frank Lampard managed an overall acceptable first season. In the Premier Leagues, the results were inconsistent, but the team secured important victories that boosted morale and helped them achieve 4th place in the table, such as the 2-1 win over Arteta's Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium.
Took himself a bit wide, Abraham! 2-1 Chelsea!
Then came the great victory against Pep Guardiola's Manchester City at Stamford Bridge, highlighted by the heroic performance from Pulisic.
And he's in on goal, and he taps it into the corner with a brilliant finish.
And then there was the moment when Lampard eliminated Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool from the FA Cup with a stunning goal from Willian and another from Barkley. Lampard led Chelsea to the FA Cup final. However, they were defeated by Arsenal, thanks to a brace from Aubameyang. Despite this bitter defeat, Frank Lampard had delivered positive results. Finished 4th in the Premier League when both Liverpool and Manchester City were completely dominated. England was something to admire. But the 2020 and 2021 season changed completely for Lampard. In the 2020-2021 season, Chelsea legendary figure on the bench, Frank Lampard continued to lead the team, and this time there were huge expectations on him. After all, the club spent over £200 million in the summer transfer window. Kai Havertz arrived as one of the Germany's top emerging talents from Bayer Leverkusen for £80 million. Timo Werner joined from Leipzig for 53 million. Left back Chilwell has signed for the Leicester City for 50 million, and Hakim Ziyech came in as a star from Ten Hag Ajax for 40 million. They also strengthened the goalkeeping department by bringing Edouard Mendy from Rennes for 21 million, and Thiago Silva joined on a free transfer for PSG. In short, Chelsea bolstered every position with top quality players, quickly building one of the most balanced squads in Europe. In defense, they had Rudiger, Christensen, Azpilicueta, and Thiago Silva as center backs. On the flank, Reece James played on the right and Chilwell on the left. In midfield, N'Golo Kanté, Georgino Kovacic, Leftus Cheek, and Mason Mount provided solidity and creativity. And up front, the attacking line featured Kai Havertz, Oliver Giroud, Pulisic, Werner, and Ziyech. Frank Lampard had a wealth of squad, depth and top quality players at his disposal, and the English coach, very promisingly, remaining unbeaten for 17 games across all competition. However, in December, Chelsea fell drastically into a crisis for many reasons.
And listen, you're obviously more happy when you're winning games. I was more happy in November and October than I've been in sort of mid-December onwards. But come to the territory, I think you can look around the Premier League and you can see teams this season that have had problems, teams now that are having problems that we're not used to having problems. So for me, I just have to get on with the job.
The main issue was the lack of clear tactical identity, as the defense showed many weaknesses, despite the quality available in those positions. Chelsea was conceding too many goals, which led to only 2 wins in Lampard's last 8 matches for the bench. Moreover, the relationship between the players and the Blues legend crumbled, and the overall team atmosphere hit rock bottom. This decision came after then owner Roman Abramovich released a statement saying, "The recent results and performances have not met the club's expectations, leaving it mid-table with no clear path to improvement." He also stressed Lampard's importance as a Chelsea legend, adding, "He is an important icon of this great club, and his status here does not diminish. He will always be welcome at Stamford Bridge."
Tuchel oversaw his first game in charge as Chelsea head coach last night. It was a 0-0 draw with Wolves. He's just been speaking to the media for the first time since he joined the club this week. Here he is.
Now, why Chelsea?
Why not? I mean, it was the opportunity. There's one of the biggest clubs in the world, in the most competitive league of the world. It was the moment, and it felt like we should absolutely not miss the chance to be part of the Chelsea family.
The German coach arrived with the goal of revitalizing a Chelsea team that was nearly lost in the Premier League, sitting 11 points behind the top of the table. Thomas Tuchel was a great choice. He had plenty of experience with elite teams, having succeeded Jurgen Klopp at Borussia Dortmund, and in 2018 he became the coach of PSG, where he won 2 leagues, 1 title, 2 French Super Cups, 1 French Cup, and 1 French League Cup. Most important, just 1 year before taking over at Chelsea, he had led the PSG to their first Champions League final, where they lost 1-0 to Hansi Flick's Bayern Munich. At the London club, Tuchel had one clear objective: to try to win absolutely everything. In his debut as a coach, he managed a draw against Wolverhampton. It might seem modest, but considering the team had lost 5 out of 8 matches, it marked a positive turning point. Thomas Tuchel quickly improved Chelsea's performance, and the fundamental change in achieving results was an enhancing defense. Tuchel shifted the system to one built around 3 central defenders, using 3-4-2-1 formation on its variant 3-4-3. The advantage of switching to a 3-center backline was that it improved greater defensive solidity and better coverage against counterattacks. The player he typically employed in this back third was Rudiger, Thiago Silva and Christensen, a perfect blend of experience, physical strength, and the ability to initiate play with the ball. The fullbacks were transformed into wing-backs, which proved ideal for giving the team greater depth and width on the pitch. Reece James on the right and Chilwell on the left not only defended, but were crucial in generating danger and exploiting the flanks, playing a key role in the team's offensive tractions. In midfield, Tuchel implemented a fundamental double pivot. Jorginho and N'Golo Kanté to connect the defense with the attack. The Italian and the Frenchman provide the perfect balance between defensive stability and attacking power. Jorginho's quality is distributing the ball, paired with Kanté's impressive ability to recover it. It turned the midfield into a complete engine. Perhaps the most challenging achievement for Thomas Tuchel was creating a functional and balanced attacking line, with Mason Mount operating as an attacking midfielder and serving as the main creative force in the final third. Tuchel managed to have Timo Werner, despite his issues with finishing, contribute important goals and assists. He also ensured that Werner was partnered with Kai Havertz, or in some cases Oliver Giroud, as the team's primary forwards. Best of all, Tuchel was renewed for his ability to adjust the team system during matches to correct weaknesses and further exploit attacking avenues by changing the formation based on the team or opponent's needs. Thanks to German coach, Chelsea began to climb up the Premier League standing gradually. By improving the team's defense stability, they started conceding fewer goals while boosting the offensive output. The Blues were not the highest scoring team, but their attacks became much more efficient, with Mason Mount displaying great ability to create danger through the opponent's final third, and Kai Havertz rising steadily in his first season with Chelsea. They became an unstoppable side, and just a few months after Tuchel took charge, they secured key victories that propelled them to 4th place in the Premier League. They defeated Tottenham at home 2-0 in February with a penalty from Jorginho, and in March they edged out Liverpool at Anfield thanks to an impressive goal for Mason Mount. In May, they achieved the most important victory by winning away at Manchester City 2-1, steering second for the citizens. Onana saved a penalty from Kun Agüero, and Ziyech equalized in the 63rd minute. Finally, Marcos Alonso needed the winning goal in the 93rd minute to secure the 3 points. Chelsea reached an impressive level. They had beaten the 3 best teams in the Premier League, and in the FA Cup semi-final, they once again squared off against Manchester City. This time, with the chance to reach the final of an important trophy, despite all indication that Guardiola City's, the most dominant team in England in recent seasons, would win the match, Tuchel's strategies prevailed. With a defensive wall and quick, direct transitions in attack, Tuchel's system proved more effective. Clever passes into spaces broke down City's line, allowing Ziyech to score the goal that secured their place in the FA Cup final. In the final, Chelsea demonstrated that under Tuchel, they could also adopt a possession-based style with facing a tightly organized Leicester City. The Blues create chances again and again, but the ball just wouldn't hit the back of the net. Then, following a defense error by Reece James during the build-up, Tielemans fired a shot that slipped through the goalkeeper's frame, giving Leicester City a 1-goal lead. Tuchel's side never stopped searching for the equalizer, and although they managed to score in the final minute, the goal was dramatically ruled offside by VAR. Ultimately, Chelsea lost their first final under Thomas Tuchel. Despite the defeat, one thing was certain: this team could aspire to compete for the most challenging title in European club football, the Champions League. In the group stage of the Champions League, Frank Lampard has done a solid job before leaving his position, as they topped their group without losing a single match. They trashed Krasnodar 4-0, repeated the same story against Rennes with a 3-0 win, and against Sevilla, Oliver Giroud, in true Puskas mode, scored 4 impressive goals to crush the Spanish side. Now it was Thomas Tuchel's turn to overcome the toughest stage of the tournament. In the round of 16, they had to face Atletico Madrid, featuring Luis Diaz and Joao Felix, and once again, Oliver Giroud appeared with a world-class bicycle kick goal in the first leg. In the second leg, Chelsea's disciplined low-block defense neutralized Luis Suarez, who was Atletico's top scorer, while the rapid transition dismantled Cholo Simeone's squad. Tuchel's ensured the possession was ceded to the Colchoneros, and ball control is Atletico's greatest weakness. On a blistering counter-attack, Havertz found Werner, and the German connected with a perfect cross that allowed Ziyech to score Chelsea's first goal, making 2-0 on aggregate. And similarly, in the final moments of the match, it was Pulisic who took control of the ball to assist Emerson, making it 2-0, and the Blues crushed the Colchoneros. The impressive part of this game was Chelsea's ability to keep a clean sheet. Edouard Mendy saved 4 shots that could have been goals, proving decisive in advancing to the quarterfinals where they would face Porto. The Portuguese side was causing a stir in Europe. Luis Diaz, Tecatito Corona, and Pepe was Porto's leaders, and they began pursuing Tuchel's squad. However, at the 30-minute mark, Mason Mount appeared with a perfectly directed control before crossing to the goalkeeper with a truly spectacular goal. Mendy was the hero of the night, saving Chelsea from conceding one on 5 occasions, while the Blues' defense was outstanding, intercepting 9 balls and winning 69 of the tackles. The second goal came from a mistake by Tecatito. Chilwell capitalized on the Mexican poor reception, ran into the box, slipped past Marquezin, and scored Chelsea's second goal. In the second leg, Porto gave everything to try to overturn the deficit, and Taremi's stunning goal in the final minutes was not enough to beat the Blues. After defeating Porto 2-1 on aggregate, Chelsea was already positioning itself as one of the favorites to reach the final. But first, they had to overcome Madrid. In the first leg at Valdeveras, Pulisic scored the opening goal in the 13th minute, but almost 10 minutes later, after a series of rebounds in the box, Benzema equalized. Everything would be decided in the return leg in London. At Stamford Bridge, the Blues pressed Madrid for the full 90 minutes, with Mendy emerging as the hero in Chelsea's goal, and Courtois standing out for Madrid. Both goalkeepers were among the best on the field. Then, with a lethal triangulation, Chelsea found Havertz. The German played a slick no-look pass that hit the crossbar, and Timo Werner arrived in time to head the ball in for the opening goal. After the merengues were saved on more than one occasion, in the 84th minute, Mason Mount slotted the back into the net for a 2-0 scoreline thanks to an assist from Pulisic. The Blues were now in the third Champions League final in history, but were not considered the favourite to lift the trophy this season. These opponents would be Manchester City, although Chelsea had defeated City in the Premier League and FA Cup. The citizens arrived with an overwhelming mental strength. They have just won the Premier League with 86 points, winning 27 matches, drawing 5 and suffering 6 losses, while conceding 32 goals and scoring 83 goals. On the other hand, Tuchel's side has conceded 54 goals and scored only 58 goals in the Premier League. In other words, Manchester City was the monster that entered the final of the massive favourite, thanks to their impeccable possession game, ball dominance and high pressing. Chelsea, on the other hand, was a strategically more balanced team, with a proper mix of defense and offense, particularly strong in defense and well organized on the quick, little counter-attack. It would be a battle of giants. Thomas Tuchel came in with a clear tactical plan, to be well positioned defensively and to close down spaces as much as possible to prevent City from getting into his area. This strategy allowed Chelsea to launch dangerous counter-attacks through the match, while Guardiola's team struggled to create any clear chances. Although Tuchel's occasionally give away possessions, the Blue managed to create the 3 clear goal-scoring opportunities, taking 8 shots, 2 of which were on target. Whereas City, despite holding 60% of the possession, managed 0 clear chances and only shot once on Mendy's goal. Chelsea consistently recovered the ball in midfield during the match, which allowed them to exploit Manchester City defensive lapses. With an extremely quick and effective transition, Kai Havertz found himself one-on-one and against Ederson and beat the Brazilian goalkeeper to score. No matter how hard City tried, they could not break down the Blues' defense, nor could they overcome Mendy. In this way, Thomas Tuchel transformed Chelsea into the best team in the world in just 6 months.
Of 2021 are the kings of the continent. The cup belongs to Chelsea again.
Chelsea won their second Champions League trophy thanks to a remarkable consistency and strength in every aspect. Mendy kept a clean sheet in 9 out of 12 games and was decisive in the final. Equally indispensable were Rudiger, Christensen and Thiago Silva. N'Golo Kanté completely dominated the midfield. 70% of the planet is covered by water and the rest is covered by N'Golo Kanté. The Frenchman was the engine of the team through the competition, tirelessly appearing both in attack and defense. And Timo Werner, despite missing important chances at times, ended up being one of the Blues' most decisive forwards with his speed and counter-attacks alongside King Havertz. This squad was already considered one of the best in Europe thanks to Tuchel's work. The 2021-2022 seasons started off for Chelsea in the best position possible. They faced Villarreal in the UEFA Super Cup with a goal from Ziyech and another from Gerard Moreno. Everything was decided in a penalty shootout in which the Blues prevailed 6-5 over the Spaniards. Thomas Tuchel kept the Blues playing at strong pace at the start of the seasons, maintaining a solid performance that kept the team in the top positions of the Premier League, even reaching first place at the end of October and through November. However, as we know, the Premier League is an incredibly tough competition, and by December, Manchester City has taken over the top spot. By the season's end, Chelsea finished third, largely due to 2 defeats against the citizens in the league, as well as draws and losses against smaller teams like Burnley, Brentford and Everton. But the German coach continued to lead the Chelsea to major finals. In the Carabao Cup, they beat Tottenham 3-0. On aggregate, in the semi-finals with a goal from Havertz, a known goal from the Spurs and another from Rudiger. In the final, they faced Liverpool. And after a thrilling match that ended in a draw, in both regular and extra time and a penalty shootout in which every player scored, the outcome was decided by the goalkeeper's penalties. Kelleher, the Spurs keeper, scored his penalty, leaving everything to Kepa's hands, and the Spanish keeper sent the ball into the stands. In the FA Cup, Tuchel's team reached the final once again against Liverpool. The Blues sought revenge, and like deja vu, the match ended 0-0 against the Red Devils. It was decided on penalties. This time, Azpilicueta and Mason Mount missed their kicks and club side won 6-5 over the Blues. Despite these setbacks, Chelsea found another moment of joy in February in the FIFA World Cup final. They defeat Palmeiras with a goal from Lukaku and another from Havertz, becoming world champions for the first time in their history. However, Chelsea's consistency and regularity began to wane in the final months of the season. They reached the Champions League quarterfinals to face Real Madrid, now managed by Carlo Ancelotti, in his second spell as coach. In the first leg, in an impressive moment, Karim Benzema, Real Madrid leaders, scored a sensational hat-trick, with Havertz reducing the deficit with 1 goal. After a bittersweet season, the campaign was marked by the sale of the London club, as Roman Abramovich was forced to sell due to the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Tuchel remained on the bench amid many doubts, as the team's performance was definitely not the same as in the previous campaign. Moreover, the season 2022 and 2023, the German coach was left without key players. Rudiger left Chelsea, Christensen moved to Barcelona, and Timo Werner returned to Leipzig. At the beginning of 2022-2023 season, Thomas Tuchel was dismissed, mainly due to inconsistency shown in the Premier League with losses to Leeds and Southampton, as well as the 1-0 defeat in the opening Champions League match against Dinamo Zagreb. Beyond those results, his relationship with the club's new management was very poor. The future plans Tuchel had for Chelsea did not align with Todd Bowley's interests, and he even lost control of the dressing room, marking his exit inevitably. Thomas Tuchel left an incredible mark as one of the best managers in Chelsea's history, but revolutionizing the team in just 6 months and winning the club's second Champions League trophy. After leading the Blues to 6 finals, he stepped down in September 2022, following a period in which Tuchel completely transformed European football while at the helm of Chelsea.